Hello, I'm David DeCosmo. Welcome to ECTV Live. I'm joined with my co-host, Rusty Fender. Rusty, welcome.
How are you, David? It's the most wonderful time of the year.
They have a song like that, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's an oldie.
Andy Williams used to do.
That's
I'm
correct.
pretty sure, yeah. Well,
That is correct.
Andy, of course, isn't with us anymore.
No,
But Tom
no.
Fritz is.
Tom Fritz.
And Tom
I'm
Fritz
right
is,
here.
yeah, I see. And he's here to talk about this year's big event, this year's Santa Parade in downtown Scranton. Probably, oh boy, Scranton loves its parades.
Oh,
And
they
we have
sure
some
do.
dandies, and this is certainly one of the best. Do you remember how old this parade is as of this year?
This is the 25th year of the parade. November 18th this year, and this starts the entire shopping Santa
Right.
season for Scranton area. And we're so happy that the parade has been able to come on this year, and bigger and bigger and bigger. Every year we seem to get bigger. Every year we have more things to do. This year is no different. We've got a lot of things that are going to be happening this year, and we're so happy that 25 years after it all began, that not only are we still here, but we're better than ever.
And you might luck out again with this being the third mildest winter on record, because last year was the second mildest, if not for that blizzard in March.
Yeah.
And then the year before was the mildest winter ever. This is the third mildest. So you're gonna get, I think, unscathed through November 18th.
So
on this
then,
deal.
once again, for 2 years in a row, we, for the Santa Parade, will have better weather than the other parade.
How about that? You're right.
So come on down to our parade, because it's actually going to be warmer.
You're right.
Well,
Absolutely.
and of course, one of the things that I love about an event like a parade is the fact that it's totally free for the people to come and enjoy, but it's not free for you guys to put it on. So you've got some sponsors to help you with that. Right?
We do have sponsors. That's how we get this parade off the ground. It's a completely volunteer organization. And truly, if you're interested in being part of the parade, we still have plenty of spots for people to either carry a balloon or a banner or help us behind the scenes. And part of what we do to get ourselves out there, and with the balloons and the helium and the other things that we bring in, is that we have our sponsors. And our grand sponsor for this year, coming back to us again, is the Mount Airy Resort and Casino. And our Santa sponsor that helps us bring Santa and his entourage in is Jack Williams Tire and Auto again. So both are returning sponsors. Jack Williams has been with us a long time, and Mount Airy has been with us for a few years, and we're both, they're great to work with, and we're so happy that they help us every year here bring the parade in.
November the 18th is the date. How about the time, and what are we talking about as far as the route this year?
Route is the same as last year. We come up Spruce Street, and then we make a left turn as we hit the square, and we go all the way around the square. The parade is going to start telecast at 9:30. So that means the parade steps off about 9:15 from the start point. The reviewing stand is at the corner of Spruce and Washington. So different spot for the reviewing stand than where the telecast is. So there's two great spots to see it where there's going to be a lot happening, because things stop and there are performances at the telecast, and things stop and there are performances at the reviewing stand
Carried
as
by
well.
local station.
WNEP again is our partner for this, as they have been for the last 25 years. So once again, those guys will be helping us out, and then for the people all around the square is the greatest place to watch. We're coming straight up Spruce, but then once we hit the square, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening around the square. One of the new things for this year is we've got Santa's gift shop. So we're going to have a bunch of vendors that will be putting out gifts that you can't just buy in any store. So you're going to want to come down to the parade, get these specialty items. They're going to be there before, during, and after the parade, so you can hang out after the parade. And Santa this year, he's also going to be staying in the square. We've got a tent for him, and I'm sure because he's Santa, he's going to wander around a little bit, because he's got to see all the kids.
Oh, sure.
That's a nice touch, instead of whisking him off to the North Pole, as is customary at a lot of these.
Exactly. So he's going to be hanging out for a while. And then the other big thing that we've got for this year is our Grand Marshals. Our Grand Marshals this year are fan-made replicas of the Transformers Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Barricade. They're made to be exact replicas of the ones that were in the movies Age of Extinction, and they're very close to the ones that were just in the last night.
Just happen to have a couple of photos here.
These guys are going to be coming down with the very first division, so you want to make sure that you're there bright and early to see Optimus, Bumblebee, and Barricade, and then they're going to be hanging out on the parade route at the end of the square that's on Washington right after the parade. So anybody who's on the square, you'll have easy access to go over there. We're also going to be doing photos with our Transformer friends. So great time to be there. We're going to have great weather, obviously, and you can hang out, see Santa, see the Transformers, or go to Santa's gift shop. We're also going to have ice sculptures again on the square.
Nice, nice.
So there's a lot of stuff that's happening. Every reason to be downtown that day. If you can't be, obviously we've got it on WNEP, and you can see it there. But certainly, this is a community event that we really want everybody downtown.
Yeah, nothing like being there.
Exactly.
Better see those ice sculptures fast if it's going to be the third mile. Get there on the first day.
Well, you also mentioned being there early, but that's not only important to catch everything, but of course, I took a look at the lineup map for your parade, and the lineup map entails more streets than the parade itself does, just slightly, by about 2 blocks. So that's how extensive this is. But because of that, you've got to seal off a lot of streets in advance of the march.
Sure.
Every year we seal off streets, and every year it creates a whole lot of chaos in the downtown areas. So once again, we'll say make sure you get down there early, because streets do start to close early in the morning. Lackawanna Avenue is where we line up all of the motorized units that are going to be in there. So everybody's got a float, everybody who's got cars, everybody's got trucks and tractor trailers, they line up on Lackawanna Avenue. So it gets very hard to come down to Scranton that way, so you're going to have to find a different way to get in. So if that's the way that you normally come in, you either have to come early or you have to get around that.
Yeah, now they do have a great police force that will be at the barricades and can direct you around those if you come down after a particular street is closed. But if you do come early enough, it's just easier on yourself as far as finding parking and being prepared to. What do you suggest people bring those little fold-up chairs and such? Or?
Oh, certainly. It's one of the great things about this being on the square is that we've got that giant expanse of sidewalk, so that you can set up chairs, and then you could have rows and rows of people and still be able to see everything on the square. And then, as kids are wont to do, they'll be able to roam around as well and not be in traffic.
Yeah. How many people are actually in this parade?
Right now, we don't have our final numbers in, but last year we had, I think it was 1,700 participants, and that was the largest year ever for us. So once again, we are striving to get bigger and better every year, and it looks like we're going to go that way again,
And
but we don't have everybody in.
That they extended those sidewalks too, that was a good deal. So instead of they limited the grassy, which would be the muddy area should it rain or snow. So it's like now you're on good terra firma all the time if you want to view it from around the square.
And that's part of the reason why we went that way. We used to have a different route. Actually, there have been we have 5 or 6 different routes over the years. This route now is 3 years old, and it has been working out great for spectators. It's been working out really good for the balloons that we have down there, because in most areas there's no wires, so we can get those up nice and high and you can see them from all the way around the square. It's just a great place to watch the parade.
Sure. And I wanted to ask about the balloons, because that's one of the things that makes this parade, it takes you to an upper level, a little higher standard than some of the parades that just have marchers in. Not that you don't appreciate that, but you almost set the parade standard by Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
And you can't do balloons, as a lot of folks will say, yeah, you're right, in a smaller area. You need all the cabling to be underground, like in a city. That's why. It's got to be underground cabling.
Now, you also were making a change in the balloons, I think as of last year. Explain that, because we're used to the old helium balloons that if you let go, boom, they're gone.
And we still have helium balloons.
Okay.
So there still will be helium balloons. They will still be flying high above our parade. But as the years go on,
Forced hot air now, isn't it?
Helium is becoming harder and harder to get. And the cost is going up, and with us being a sponsored volunteer parade, it's harder for us to afford. So the cold air balloons are starting to make their way into the parades.
How about that?
So we've had those on the square in the past couple of years. We will again this year. We've also had the opportunity to put them on dollies and bring them through the parade that way, because
they'd have to be pre-inflated.
Well, what happens is they have a fan and a generator with them.
So it continually provides uplift.
Exactly. You say the kind that you put in your front yard, but on steroids. Right. These are bigger, heavier, more colorful, and in a lot of cases, they dwarf the ones that you'd have in your yard.
Where do you get those things?
We work with a company called Starbound. They've been doing our parade for a long time. and they are once again going to be our balloon provider for this year.
And I guess they have the latest tie-ins too with the hottest movies and things that are out there, the hottest trends.
Mostly what we try to do, and we've had movie ones and other character ones, but we really like to get our Christmas balloons into this parade, because it's one of those things we want to get everybody in the mood. We've got Santa, we've got snowmen, trees, packages. That's what we want to see going down the street. Every now and again we do have characters that are in the parade. I don't believe that we've got any big name character balloons that are in this year's parade. We really want to keep it.
But they all fit the Christmas theme, obviously.
Yes, that's what
But
we
you
try.
mentioned you're still using helium with regard to some of them, which means you've got to have those volunteers to hold them.
Oh, yes.
Because I know the pastor of our church actually volunteered at Disney at a parade one time.
As a balloon wrangler.
They had to go through some little
Absolutely.
basic training.
Yes,
to
we do
handle
that
those.
in the wee hours of the morning. We have our volunteers show up for their balloons, and
Based on wind and all that.
Yeah,
you
actually,
can't
and
do
that's-
that till the day.
right, and
Yeah.
that's the one thing that would cause us an issue with the balloons is if the winds at 30 feet above the ground are more than 30 miles an hour. That will stop the balloons from going through the parade. But rain, shine, snow, those balloons will go. It's only wind that bothers us. So you show up in the morning, you get assigned to your balloon, and then the balloon wranglers give you training in what you're supposed to do. And the smaller ones, they'll do things like spin them around. The larger balloons, it's more about making sure that they fly high when you're in an area where there aren't any wires, and when you're coming to the traffic signals and any wires, to be able to get it down so that it can sneak under. Which is one of the reasons why the square is the best place to see it, because except for the corners, there's no wires, so we can get those things up nice and high. You'll be able to see them all over the place there.
Yeah, that's and it's quite a sight. Now, of course, you wouldn't have a good parade without marching band or singing groups or things too. So I guess you've got to be recruiting the local high schools and such to march.
We have, I believe it's 4 marching bands. There might be 5 by the time the parade comes down. And we usually run anywhere between 4 and 7. We really like having those guys in the parade because it's a big impact. And the band directors and everybody in those bands work really, really hard, and we really like to be able to showcase them. And you get them out in front of a lot of people, everybody feeds off each other, and it's a great time.
You must start early in the year too to book them.
What happens is many of the bands come every year, and they call us. But we always do send out our emails and everything like that to get everybody together. We have a lot of participants that have been with us for more than a decade. We have a few that have been with us almost from the very beginning.
Wow.
And this is what they do. They know our parade is coming. They want to be in it. They want to be part of it. And it's a very well-oiled machine that we send out to our parade participants. They get back to us. They have wonderful memories from all the years of being with it, and they want to continue that, and we want them to continue with us. Every year we also try to reach out to a few more organizations, especially ones that have entertainment, dance groups, and we have bunches of twirling groups that are in there, and any bands that we can get that are part of any other group. We reach out to them and try to make it more and more entertaining for the people who are downtown, because what happens is as they stop at the reviewing stand or they stop at the TV cameras, the parade will stall. And it's great when you're on site and you're on the square and you're watching this, that as soon as the parade stops, that the group in front of you starts to perform.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're getting a show that's not happening on TV.
Right.
Because at TV, every band is going to stop, but every other group can't, or the parade would be 6 hours long.
Sure.
But every time that there's a stall in the parade, every group that can do something and perform in front of you does so. So while you're there, you're getting candy as give-outs, and then the Rockettes start dancing. Not the real Rockettes, but we do have our dance group from Marywood College comes, and they do a Rockette kick line. So every time we stop, you guys get a nice performance from everybody who's near you.
It's good. There's no dead air on TV, and there's no dead air behind the group performing at the TV cameras as well. It's a good deal, Tom.
Exactly, and that's what we strive for. We want this thing to be entertainment from the start to the end. We've got our community walking groups that are out there, and many of those have giveaways. So the kids are looking for candy from those guys, and they get to be in the parade. And then every performing group gets to show off for everybody who's downtown.
Sure. It's a nice, really an enjoyable day, and I know that families bring the kids down, and you talk about being family oriented. Yes, it's family oriented, but really kids oriented. They enjoy the parade more than anybody else, especially knowing who's coming at the end.
Very much so, and that's the big draw. Is the very last guy to come down that road is Santa himself, and that's the start of the season here. We bring Santa to downtown, and officially the season is on.
He's come in so many ways, in so many different communities.
You're right.
And I think back to one of the classics was down in, I believe it was Lansford in Schuylkill County, one of those back probably in the 40s or 50s. They had Santa parachute into the parade, and he missed. He missed the parade, and he landed in a coal gondola, a railroad train gondola, about a half a mile away from the parade route. Of course, when we were when I was with Channel 22 and we had Chopper 22, Santa would often be a passenger with us. We'd bring him into here or there.
That's what we did. The first year I did traffic for KRZ was 1990, and he came into the Wyoming Valley Mall and climbed down a ladder from our traffic helicopter. We had an Enstrom F-28C at the time, and he climbed down into the mall lot. So I guess there's a million different variations on how he arrives.
But people love to see that. Now you're bringing him. I think he has some kind of a sled that's on.
Well, even though we all know Santa has no problem with heights.
Oh no,
obviously.
No.
But Santa's carrier for this year, and as it has been for the last couple of years, it's going to be a horse-drawn carriage. And it's a sled-based horse-drawn carriage.
Nice.
On the carriage with him will be the winners of our Santa's Little Helper contest.
Now what's that?
We have a contest that's on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/the Santa Parade. And it'll be starting soon. And we usually have a little thing. Last year we said, name your favorite reindeer. This year the question might be a little bit different. So that's how you get entered into the contest. And then out of all of the people who have entered, we draw a random name. I think we do 3 helpers, and those 3 helpers get to ride with Santa through the entire parade. You get unfettered access to Santa for 2 hours. Just imagine all the things that you can ask for.
Is there an age limit to that?
Well, let's put it this way. Use your best judgment, but what we do want is true believers out there to enter this, to be on there with Santa. So if you're a naysayer, whether you're 5, 10, or otherwise, we don't want you near Santa. Santa's all about, making sure that everybody understands what he's there for, and his good kids are going to be rewarded.
And with the technology, can you imagine this day and age the amount of selfies taken that day?
Oh, yes.
Is there an age limit to that?
Well, I'll tell you what. Santa, when he starts down the parade, he gets bogged down like you wouldn't believe, because everybody wants to come and see Santa as he's going down through the parade. And that's one of the reasons why we've got him on the square after the parade. So let's let Santa go by. Certainly say hi. He waves to everybody when the parade stops. He loves to talk to people, but you'll be able to see him after the parade on the square.
Yeah, now he is always, since he's the closing act, he's the big act, so you want him at the end. With regard to all the other divisions, do you try to shuffle them from year to year just, I'm sure that one band occasionally would like to lead. They'd like to be the lead band.
Yeah, good question.
A lot of times what we do is Scranton High School's band will lead Santa.
This is Scranton
because
parade.
It's Scranton,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, that's a big thing.
Now those positions do change. Sometimes they want to be earlier in the parade, but what we try to do is our first division has our Grand Marshal, and that's our lead off. We certainly want to make that a very exciting division. And our last division has got Santa, and you certainly want to see those. But what we do on our end is we split up our bands, our groups, and our performing groups all throughout the parade, so that you have the same number of dancing groups, same number of performing groups, and same number of community groups in each division.
I see.
So that as you're going through the parade, it's not front-loaded with excitement.
Sure.
And then at the end, you've got the excitement, and then in the middle, it's not worth watching. We try to set that up so every division is certainly worth being there and certainly worth watching.
It's a good get-out-of-jail card too, using the Scranton School, because I'm sure the people that have been last going, what's the deal here? We're behind the street sweeper of the year. Like, what is the story with this? But using Scranton, I don't think anybody'd have any complaints about that.
No.
No, but that's a lot of juggling on your part to make sure that they're all represented and do get changed occasionally. And, you know, even if you've got the same basic kind of float from one year to another, the fact you put it in a different position changes the whole outlook
right.
of what the audience is seeing.
Exactly, and it matters too who you're near. A lot of times we have groups that will play off of each other and have a great time in the parade with them, because some groups play loud music, and then the group behind them can get in on that music, and then other groups, they'll dance along, and if you've got a walking group in front of them, sometimes they'll get in on the act
Sure.
and dance along with it. So it's great that we have that many performing groups, and they're infectious. They really are. And you know, the kids, if they're not getting candy, which happens a lot, they like to be entertained. So
Sure.
we intersperse that as we go along, and we've got a lot of experience in our group. Many of us have been doing the parade for a long, long time. I've been involved with the parade for 12 years. 10 years ago, I chaired it, and we've got, altogether, it's almost 200 years of experience with the group that we have. Going back almost to the beginning, I think we actually do have 2 members who have been there from the very beginning of the parade.
That's impressive too. Let's get back to those volunteers a second as we get short on time. You're going to need some for the balloons. I'm sure there's other things you use volunteers for. Do they have to have any kind of experience? I mean, you say you get some basic training with the balloons, but I mean, can someone just say, I want to participate somehow? And
Absolutely, they can. And there is no experience necessary. We'll give you on-the-job training. We have a lot of banners that we put through the parade. As we said, this is a sponsored event. This is how we put it on. And everybody who sponsors gets a banner. We usually have them walking with 2 or 3 people, and you can be any age for that. As long as you want to walk in the parade, we'll put you in front of a banner. You get to, you know, lead a division or lead a specific band, something like that. And then with the balloons, you have to be 18 years or older so that you don't go flying away.
oh, sure, sure.
And then there are also some behind the scenes. We have help with our traffic, but we can always use more help with a lot of the behind the scenes staging and getting us ready for it, and then cleanup of our areas.
How many
afterward.
people do you need?
Normally, we need somewhere in between 250 and 300 volunteers to help us get the parade, because our balloons, the smallest balloons are like 10 handlers, and they go up to 40 handlers.
Ooh.
So we burn a lot just
yeah.
in balloon handlers.
Yeah.
And then every parade we have somewhere between 9 and 15 banners, and those are 2 or 3 people apiece.
And
you get
those,
to walk
those
through
are the
band-
banners that they kind of almost stretch almost across the street, right?
Almost across the street. Yeah, I think it's a 10-foot banner.
So you have, you know, people on both ends, maybe even in the middle.
Yes. Yeah, so you know, if you've got a small group that you want to handle a banner and walk through, or if you've got 2 or 3 brothers or sisters and you all want to be in the parade and you want to walk along, come on down. We'll get you a banner and you can walk through the parade.
Well, now we're you know, it's not that far away, November the 18th. So I would assume that you're going to have these people sort of raising their hands now, saying,
Yeah, register through the Facebook site is the best way?
Exactly. The Facebook site is the best way. That's Facebook/The Santa Parade. And there is a volunteer icon on there. Our regular website, which is santaparade.net. You can also go there. There's a page for volunteers to register with us. And we have a lot of volunteers now, but we're always looking for more. We get some support from sororities in the area. They do a lot of our balloon handling, and they come down in mass, and they're great to work with. They will dress alike, and they'll have their sororities letters on there so
Sure,
that
for
everybody
something
knows.
this big, no one gets turned away. I'm sure of that.
No one gets turned away, because often we're asking people, after you're done with the parade, come on back and we'll give you another balloon. And it usually does depend on the weather, too. A nice day, we get a lot of volunteers. On days when it's cold or raining, we need more.
sure, sure. What, in your opinion, what has this parade meant to the community? And I don't mean Scranton per se, I mean the area.
Well, as far for me, I'm one of those people that you need to have time for Halloween. You need to have time for Thanksgiving. But we all know that shopping happens before Thanksgiving, and we all put Thanksgiving as that's the start of our holiday
Right.
season. Having this parade was always, for me, the thing that starts the holiday season. It's not Christmas until Santa comes down the street. And once you get Santa coming down the street, then it's okay for me to hear the Christmas carols in all the stores. Then it's okay for me to see Christmas
That's a good point.
decorations.
Yeah, I
and
can
then it's okay
understand
for me, it's okay for it to snow.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you don't want to have Santa, and I don't know how they do it in the South and in California where you have shorts on Santa. It's supposed to be cold. So once Santa comes down the road and you get to see everybody, you know, here he comes. All these bands come out, everybody comes out, and that's the official kickoff. That makes me think holidays, that makes me think Christmas. And then it's okay for all that other stuff. If you're starting your Christmas carols the day after Halloween, it's a little too early.
When the parade comes, Ralphie can ask for his BB gun.
Hey, I was in Los Angeles one year for the week between Christmas and New Year, and it was 82 degrees, and boy, it was nice. But that was, I really think
Now,
I really.
how do you
cared
think
for
of
that.
Santa?
It
Yeah.
was
Now,
so weird.
Barring catastrophe in terms of weather, this is a rain or shine event.
This is
You
a
may
rain
have to
or
vary
shine.
the balloons
Absolutely.
Yes.
depending on wind.
This is a rain or shine event. As we said before, wind is the only thing that won't have our balloons flying, but the rest of the parade would happen even if it's very windy outside. The only thing that would stop the parade is if we had a snow event to the point where we
Yeah.
could not
Yeah,
move
Absolutely,
around.
sure.
But other than that, the parade has had flurries. The parade has had a coating of snow the night before. The parade has had some active snow while it's been going on, and the parade has had rain a few years.
And I know I've asked this before. I don't remember whether you had an answer or couldn't, but have you ever done any kind of a crowd count for the Scranton Santa Parade?
It normally winds up to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 40,000 people.
Wow.
And it depends on weather. There are years that it's lean because it's cold and or rainy, but last year it was very near 40,000 people.
Wow, that's
That's
fantastic.
incredible. Yeah.
Great event, and we encourage
Good
you
luck,
to
Tom.
come out and enjoy it. No matter where you're watching, you know, everybody's welcome to the parade. Obviously, you know, Wilkes-Barre has one as well. I don't think the dates coincide.
They normally do. In
they
fact,
do?
many of
Okay.
our participants go right from our parade down to the
Another.
Wilkes-Barre parade.
And Pittston is starting one, so
Yes,
that should be
this year.
interesting. I'm not sure of the date on that one, but this is certainly the top one in this area. So if you get a chance to come out, please come out and enjoy it. Tom Fritz, thanks so much for filling us in on the plans for this year's parade.
Good luck, Tom.
Thank you very much. Remember to come down and see our Transformer replicas and the big man himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Rusty Fender, thank you so much.
Happy
for
holidays,
joining in.
David.
Mark McGlory, thanks
Thanks,
for
Mark.
handling all the technical end for us. I'm David DeCosmo for ECTV Live. Until we see you again next week, here's hoping all your news is good.